Hello, good people. If you're tired of a world of fake news, fake personalities, and fake images, you're tuned into the right place. This is Shawn Barksdale, and this is 10 Minutes of Truth.
Forget about what somebody else think about you. What do you think about you? Your past don't define you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shawn Barksdale, and this is 10 Minutes of Truth. This is episode number 4, the last episode with my beautiful daughter, Ashya Nicole Barksdale. If you have been tuning in the last few weeks, you've been able to kind of go with us on a journey back in time up to now of her growing up with me in prison. How you doing today, Ashya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm here, but I'm blessed to be here because I could be somewhere else. You know, we had a hard year last year with COVID and, you know, getting you in school and, you know, just trying to hang on to, you know, life. You know, we learned a lot last year about ourselves and about family. That's what this podcast is about. It's about family, and it's about family that go with us into these prisons. So this being the last episode, your last episode, you said something last week about some things that I've taught you, and that is you were talking about short-term goals, long-term goals, things of that nature. I want to ask the question, what is the most important thing I've taught you that you can remember?
There are a lot of things that you have taught me and that I really live by, but the most important thing that I've learned from you is that family is important, because growing up and, you know, in prisons and things like that, you know, I would always be in a rush to leave. I always want to leave to go see my friends, be with my friends. But now that I'm older, I mean, you know, I still have friends, you know, I hang out with friends, but that's really not as important to me as family is to me. And being that both of my great-grandparents are not here with us anymore, I really see now that they were the foundation of this family, and that family means everything to me, and they meant everything to me.
Right on. You said a lot. We'll just take on the, let's just talk about the friends first. Because for me, it was different. You know, you're way more advanced at your age than I was. Because to be able to say that, to say family, because, you know, you wanted to go be with your friends. But you got to realize, you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You should want to be with your friends. Whereas me, being an only child, I put my friends before everything else. I put my friends before family. And that's how I ended up doing a lot of the things that I did. You know, being with the wrong friends, being with the wrong crowd. So how did you, not having me and not having your mother there, how did you know how to pick good friends from people that acted like friends, but they weren't?
Well, I don't know. Like, I would be friends with people, you know, fill them out, you know, see how they move and things like that. You know, if I wasn't really feeling it, you know, I let them know. You know,
I remember, I don't know if you remember this. I'm going to see if you remember this. I remember a time in your life, because of the environment you were in, you used to think everybody was talking about you. You remember that?
I do remember that. I remember me and you would sit on the phone and I would just, you know, explain to you that I really felt like I had no friends.
Right.
Because people were talking about me.
Right.
People were talking about my situation, you know, laughing about me.
Right. So how absorbing that type of moment and feeling like you didn't have friends, or like I said a few episodes ago, you know, the uniqueness of you having a white mother and a black father and trying to fit in and whatnot. How did you handle it though?
Well, being that I was brought up by a black family, you know, I hung around black people. But, you know, as I got older, you know, I wanted to expand more. You know, I wanted to become friends with white people. But as you said in the beginning, you know, maybe the first episode or two, that I always felt like I wasn't black enough, or I was too black for some people. And it was really hard for me to fit in. So I guess that's where I felt like, you know, family was more important, because they were always there for me no matter what color I was, you know, what color I chose to be, what color I chose to be around.
Right.
They were always there.
I remember, you know, in And this 10 minutes of truth, so we're going to tell the truth. And this is how the uniqueness of how things work, because we know, being in black homes, we say things about white people we shouldn't say. And in white homes, white people say things about black people, and whether you racist or not, these are things that happen, that you do. And having you, it made us conscious. It made Grandma Havana conscious. You know, it made, you know, our aunt conscious. It made your other side of the family conscious too. So that's a great takeaway, you know, because it broke down barriers.
Right.
You think of your mother's grandmother.
Right.
And you know, so just talk about that a little bit, about how you saw from when you were younger to like maybe now, the dynamic of how family views you.
Well, I know that on my mother's side, my great grandmother, you know, she would always say, I love your grandmother. And not because she's black, but because she takes good care of you. So I could always tell she kind of had that, you know, a little bit of racist bone in her body. But she would always say that your grandmother is good to you, so I accept her. But I didn't agree with that, because just because the color of her skin, it shouldn't be a problem whether you accept her or not, whether she's good to me. You should just accept her as a person.
Right. And that can be really rough, because I don't, you know, for me, being black, I can choose not to be around a race of people or a nationality of people, where that's not so much for you, you know? So that becomes very hard for you, right? And I commend you once again, not just because you're my daughter, and seeing that, because how you've dealt with it. You know, how you've dealt with that, and dealing with family and dealing with friends and dealing with situations. So being that this is the last episode for you, I just want you to just talk to the people and just express to the people, if a child has a parent that's going to prison, or if they have a parent that's in prison, whether mother or father or both, some people have both, that are in prison, how can they just weather the storm? And think about a young person, a person that may be a teenager, and someone that's older, right? What would you tell them? How can they weather that storm? And who could they go to?
Well, I would say, you know, always be there for your mother, your father, whoever it is. You know, you have to put yourself aside sometimes. You have to be there for them, you know, let them know that you're still here, you know, that you're not going anywhere no matter what happens to them. You know, don't judge. You can't judge no matter what they have done to you, you know, what they put you through. That's me. I never held anything against my mother or my father. Yeah, I may not have agreed with most of the things that they did in life, you know, to me or just to themselves, but, you know, just always be there for them, you know. Take the time for them.
Wow, that's selfless. And thank you, because you stayed true to that. You're still true to that. I really, really appreciate you coming on the show and doing this. And this has been kind of therapeutic for me. You know, I hope it's
well.
Right. You know, because it's just some things that we've never talked about, that we were able to talk about.
Just me and you.
Right. Just me and you. Well, the world is gonna hear it, but but it's just me and you in here.
Right.
You know, and I really, really appreciate it. I hope and wish and pray for much success for you and any and every endeavor that you touch. How can people reach you if you have some young people that would like to reach out to you and maybe talk to you, or maybe going through some of the problems that you went through in your past? What's some of your handles? How can they find you?
You can add me on Facebook. My name is Ashya Barksdale, or you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Mixed Girl Ash, ASH.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is Shawn Barksdale, and this has been 10 Minutes of Truth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Need someone to take a load off? Call Whitehead Trucking LLC. That's Whitehead Trucking LLC. 804-586-8727. That's Whitehead Trucking LLC. A load on his truck is a load off your mind. If you'd like to become a sponsor or advertise on 10 Minutes of Truth podcast, contact me, Shawn Barksdale. You can reach me at 434-446-6633 or shoot me a text. Or you can reach us at 10minutesoftruth.com. And remember, we'll always provide a platform for your truth on the 10 Minutes of Truth podcast. What's your truth? On the next series of the 10 Minutes of Truth podcast, we're going to have someone very near and dear to my heart, my sister, Deneen Stokes. Just a little bit about Deneen. At a very early age, a lot of people don't know Deneen went through a lot of hardships moving from New York down here to Virginia. After having her parents incarcerated at the same time, Deneen had to weather the storm on her own. And we're going to have her on to tell the people and to explain to the people how you can endure such trials and tribulations and still make it out on top. Until then, this is Shawn Barksdale, and this is 10 Minutes of Truth.